Hello, I'm David Hunt and welcome to Staying Alive. It's a panel show about our ageing community. Our panel today is the gorgeous Leanne Renfree from Switchboard.
Hi,
now,
David.
Tell us a little bit about Switchboard.
Switchboard started in 1991. It's a volunteer-based telephone counselling, referral and information service. We say we provide that service to the LGBTI community, but of course we provide it to anybody that rings. So we get health professionals, we get family members, but of course most of our calls are from LGBTI. We run a fairly intense training course for our volunteers, and they go on the phones and answer people's calls. And we're part of now a national project called Q-Life, and we've partnered with the other state services and the National LGBTI Health Alliance to provide a national coverage.
How can you join?
You can go onto our website, which is switchboard.org.au, and there's a section on volunteering.
Okay, and you've just had a whole lot of people just graduate.
We did, yeah. We've got about 60-something active volunteer counsellors now, so we're probably the biggest service in Australia.
Fantastic.
And as you know, we're about to embark on our out and about volunteer home-based visiting service for older LGBTI people, and we're probably looking at another 70 or 80 volunteers.
That's great.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful, and we really appreciate the time that our volunteers put in.
Good on you. Greg Adkins, welcome, and you're from Victorian Anti-Violence Project.
That's right.
What is that?
We're,
apart from the obvious.
Well, 18 years ago, 1997, we started, and we're about reporting, increasing the levels of reporting of prejudice-motivated crime and homophobic violence, harassment. So we are the conduit between people that want to report violence and the police, where they don't feel comfortable about going directly to the police. We'll handshake them straight through the local police station or GLOW, and we do that sort of work and then act on peak bodies, other peak bodies, sit on reference groups and keep the discussion happening around prejudice, crime and violence.
Right. How can you find out more?
Antiviolence.info is our site, information to report violence.
Okay, excellent. And Gordon Wilson. Hello, Gordon.
Hello, David.
Now, you're from Vintage Men.
Yep.
Tell us about Vintage Men.
They've been going for 21 years.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, it was March 20, was their 21st birthday. We are a social and support group for older gay and bisexual men and their friends and partners. Yeah, so it's and they were actually started by the Victorian AIDS Council when the AIDS crisis hit in 1993.
Right.
And they wanted older men to be able to know what was happening in the world of AIDS infections. So they started Vintage Men, and then they found that they couldn't keep it going. So the City of Port Phillip then came in and became our major sponsor. So
fantastic. And how can you find out more?
Oh,
is there a website?
There is a website. It's vintagemen@yahoo.com.au, I think it is. We've got two websites, and the other one's a long one, and I can't remember it.
All right, but I'm sure if you Google
you
it,
could Google Vintage Men, it's there.
Yeah. Well, it's on the Switchboard site anyway.
On the Anti-Violence Project site as well.
There you go.
Okay, our topic today is a very interesting one because it's really changing the way that we're acting as older people. Now, we all know about the pink dollar, but now all of a sudden there's the grey dollar. And the grey dollar is really having an impact on our society. Greg, when you actually saw this topic, what did you first think about?
Well, I read it on a Tuesday when I read it, and that's the day the Overland comes through Melbourne and goes to Adelaide. And it is chock-a-block full of grey nomads all heading across to the city of churches. Don't know why. I mean, Adelaide's
Hey, it's my hometown.
But
they're going there now because David's not there. Yeah.
But they were heading there, and I was thinking about the volume for that service. It probably keeps that particular railway company going, having those people on that particular day. So all these lovely people taking their stories, sharing their friendships, and everyone hopping on the same train, going to the same destination.
You get a free train trip with your seniors card.
You do?
Once a year.
Within the state that you're part of.
Yeah. As far as the state, then you pay the rest from the border to the wherever you go.
Which is quite cheap anyway. Yeah. So you can get a trip to Adelaide for probably $20.
Probably.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Leanne, how did you look at it?
Well, it was interesting because on previous program we talked about superannuation and that sort of thing. And when I saw that, I thought, well, one of the things that made me think about was that lesbians don't, in general, have as much money as men. Either that's because women are more lowly paid, but also a lot of older lesbians went through a time in society where they were perhaps married and weren't working, and so they don't have the super, and organisations like Matrix Guild have identified that by actually providing housing for older lesbians. So I think there is perhaps some differences, and I think if we talk about grey dollar, generally we might be talking about straight couples where there's been super, and perhaps from sometimes the man in the family. Whereas if we're saying pink grey, which almost sounds like Galah Dollar, doesn't it?
What a nice way to look at it. Yeah, I like it.
The Galah Dollar.
I think there are actually differences amongst men and women around that.
Because I know so many guys who have been together for years and they've retired early and they're travelling the world and they're going to the theatre and having a wonderful time because they've been together for a long time and they've got, you know, like if they're not even pension age and they're still having a wonderful time. So the boys are probably a lot more...
Yeah, I mean, it's a gross generalisation, but I would say probably a little more. I mean, I've got lots of women friends who are in couples who have all both worked both their lives and the same thing, early retirement and are travelling. But I certainly know there's probably a larger proportion of older lesbians who don't have that income.
Yep. Now, Gordon, my new best friend, because you're quite well off and you're going to leave lots of your money to me. So,
oh, okay.
So how do you perceive the Galah Dollar?
Well, I worked very hard to save for what I've got. And so that's that. So it's there, and I just.
But you're also very shrewd with how you invested.
Yeah,
you?
That's right. Yeah, but my boyfriend says, "Well, you're a rat. You know, the year of the rat. People are very good savers and very good things because he believes in Chinese astrology.
Of course.
And he says, you know, that I am a rat and I am one of those people that would look for the specials, look for the things, save the pennies here, and if the old saying. Look after the pennies and the pound look after themselves, you know, or the cents and the dollars. You can change that around if you want to. But it's no problem for me. And I go out and just spend whatever I want to spend. I don't have to worry. Go to the theatre every once a week or something or other. And
so you're supporting the broader population because you can afford to get out there and do all these other bits and pieces.
That's right. Yeah.
We see my whole life is I've spent what I've had and I've loved doing it and I enjoy still to this day. I can't afford to do as much because I didn't save like you, but I'm still out and about and I love the fact that I can do that.
But there's a way you can do it. If you haven't retired or if you've just retired, you can use a part of your super funds. You can be earning a little bit of money on top.
Yep.
And you can keep the super funds going longer and longer if you don't have that big bulk of wealth that some people have.
Yeah.
And I think also people are actually staying healthier longer, so we're physically more able to get out and do things. So.
And we're also the baby boomers where we're going to still concerts and whatever. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. So, Greg, thank you for being part of the show today. Leanne, love you.
Oh, my
Gordon, you're all right as well, even though you're not leaving me money. Thank you for watching Staying Alive on Bent TV.